So that's really we forgot that we start all of this journey to be happy. And the mind, because it perceives problems, it wants to solve them. And so the logic of the mind is, when I will solve all of my problems, I will have no problem. And therefore, I will be able to rest, isn't it? I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, that's great. I mean, I completely agree with this. The dilemma is the game we play, it's too complex to resolve. It's like playing chess, you know? Chess is amazing. It's very easy. There is pieces, you move them and just learn, and that's it. But after 3 moves, the complexity is insane. The possibility is just, and you can't control any, it's impossible. And this that is here, this experience, is like chess with infinity of pieces. So how will you resolve anything? So the logic of the mind is great. The dilemma is what is here is too complex to grasp. So it's impossible to resolve. So now you have two choices. Or you keep with this system of belief and you keep trying whatever this is suffering, or you open your mind to something else. There is no other choice. It's like Bob Marley was singing, "Stop the train, I'm leaving." Exactly this. You will not stop. The train will not stop. The train stop from no one. You have to jump out of it if you want to. It's a possibility that is uh, offered. If there is any question or sharing about this, everything is welcome.
Hi, David. I loved what you
Hello, Tammy.
said about, I loved everything you said, but I loved what you said about the last thing about jumping out of the train and just being happy now. Um,
Mhm.
and I have something to say about that, but also the earlier part I didn't quite understand. You said that, if I understood correctly, you said that there is no such thing as anything else, and something about when we judge other things, we're only judging ourselves. Did did you mean to say something like that the mind just hears the words and doesn't give it a belonging? So if I say like the word scary or smelly or horrible, doesn't matter who I'm saying it about, the mind just experiences that experience. So it doesn't matter if I think I'm judging someone else, I have to live with that experience. Is that, did I understand that correctly? Or
Yeah, yeah. That's a different way to say it, but yes.
Mhm. And about what you said now about jumping off, I think I'm getting to that point in life. In other
Mhm.
words, it's like my mind and keeps having hope, like that, oh my goodness, if I have X type of relationship or X type of family, or if I start a music
Mhm.
band, or if I start a business, or if someone finds me and treats me like a princess. Like there's all kinds of fantasies and
Mhm.
dreams that the mind has of like, I have to make this work and utilize my talents and then I'll be happy. I have to build a
Mhm.
business and then I'll be like all these like dreams
Mhm.
that it's had its whole life of like what it takes to be happy. And like as I get older, it's like um even when those things do happen, there's the anxiety and the, it's not quite what it looks like on the outside. The internal experience is not one of bliss. And so
Mhm.
it's like, do I give up on the external tryings? Because there is some truth to that. When I eat healthy and I do exercise and I have nice people around me and good conversations, it does affect the experience. But on the other hand, there's so much stress brought with trying to materialize and make happen the mind's dreams, that it's like almost not worth it in the end. And I'm coming to this point of like where the mind keeps coming up and saying, but try, but call them and do it and do it. And then it's like, no, it's not going to work. And it's like, okay, but try, but try. And then I'm starting to attend these meetings and I'm able to, and my mind and body spin, as I said here last week before, and like with craziness and and it's like the dying gasps of this, like, but should I try? But should I try? And then like coming, and I found attending some of these like non-dual meetings and looking at things differently and stuff. It seems like also other things are dying in my life. Like right now, my youngest sister, who I dearly love her, she left the country for a few weeks, and then my nephew who lives near me and he's young and I spend many hours a week taking care of him. He left now for 3 weeks. And a woman I've been working for 10 years and is a dear, dear spiritual friend. She came from abroad and she has a whole, she speaks in a very soft voice. She introduced me to softness and spirituality and love in a different way than I was used to. I was used to, and I'm going to be spiritual and loving and, win, like, like perfect myself and others, like a very strong kind of will. And she was like, no, no, no. She introduced softness. Anyway, I've been working with her and like putting out her life's works for the past 10 years. And today they're like, you know what, we need to stop now. So she's getting older and things are changing for them. So a lot of things seem to be dying in my life that are bases of like, ooh, maybe this could have turned into something or could have introduced me to something else, or me and my sister could have started a band, or me and my nephew could start a business, all these things. And now that they're out of the country and things, I was kind of hysterical and crying, but then, and feeling like the rug was pulled out from under me. But then there was just a huge relief of like, seeing the addiction of chasing all these things in the hope of like, oh, I'll have family and have belonging. And if I just help out more, my sister will finally treat me nicely and then I'll have peace. Like, or my nephew will eat right and sleep well and he'll be okay. And then I won't worry about him and then I'll have peace. Like all these things of trying to fix, manage, and control my experience and others to have peace. And somehow in these meetings and realizing all this, I'm able to find like a deeper peace and just sink into it, especially when within out of the neighborhood and out of the country. It's like my body can finally relax into it, and then new thoughts will arise. And panic can arise again, but somehow the meetings are helping to allow me to rest into whatever pain is present, whatever craziness of the mind, and even like um last time I was talking to you about like the fear of the mind and just even when things aren't existing, like the fear of a dog coming or the fear of a person coming. And so like in the past couple of days, like I took a walk late at night and like all of a sudden there were like two large dogs, and then the organism reacted and tensed up and just goes into terror and panic. But um I don't know. I couldn't get rid of it, but I could kind of be like, okay, yes, this is what I do, and kind of like let it go, not feel a need to be like, no, I have to be a perfect person now who is never moved by anything and is always equanimous and serene. And just able to be like, okay, it's okay, and just kind of be okay with it and let it be and experience the body and then and see that the tension was rising, and then afterwards when they left, see that I could be not perfectly at peace but more so, and just I don't know, I find myself more able to fall into those spaces, except the mind says, well, you have these shifts. It could be like a hormonal thing. It could be the weather. It could be the food. You have times like this, like when I went on certain medication for inflammation, all of a sudden I was just so serene. In other words, these times come and go in my life. So I'm really afraid that it's just like a fluke and not actual progress. And also I find that I kind of need these meetings to keep finding it and deepening it. But yeah, so that's my experience here. And I guess I wonder if you have, um, like, is there anything else I should be doing, or is that good for now to kind of just like deepen into the relaxation of the body, into the letting go and not getting as caught up in the mind and being more like, okay, being more not getting into hysteria over every body sensation and every thought. and kind of sink into that. And again, I'm so afraid that it's just like a fluke and won't continue and I won't be able to find it again. But I'm very hopeful that maybe I can finally sink into peace. But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you, Tammy. The course I named the course that I'm proposing. I've named it the ease of being, because if you notice, you are right now. There is being right now. There is the presence of your own presence. So it doesn't seem like much, but I assure you, this is the door, and it's really easy and simple. The complexity is of the mind. And you say something that really struck me, that you said that you realize that you don't have to be a spiritual person. You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be anything. And this is the freedom. The freedom from the person is not that the person stop appearing. The freedom from the person is to see that whatever the person is doesn't, it's irrelevant. Doesn't mean anything. What Tammy does or doesn't do, what happened to Tammy, it's irrelevant deeply for what you are. It doesn't mean anything. So if Tammy is in danger, you are not in danger. But there is an experience of that can be very intense. And I'm not saying that you have to deny what is happening, but I'm saying what has to do with you. So we hold those images of who we should be. We should be a nice person. You should be a nice citizen. You should be a nice daughter. You should be a nice father, mother, whatever. But why? There is absolutely nothing that is forcing you to be anything. And this is very easy, because that means that even if you forget, or like you say, you lost touch with your being, which is impossible, because if you are having an experience, that means that you are present to it. But anyway, let's say that you are confused. So what? You see, it's really this detached, this complete detachment. This is jumping off the train. If my life looks spiritual, great. If my life doesn't look spiritual, great. If I'm very nice, great. If I'm not nice, great. If I'm teaching non-duality, great. If I'm not teaching non-duality, great. I mean, it's just you don't give value outside of what you are. The value and the meaning of anything comes from your own being, and you never leave your own being.
So to take it back, in other words, so the fact that like my organism, body and mind still gets riled up when a dog appears, whatever, I don't have to perfect that in order to be awakened or whatever. In other words, I don't need to worry about this body and mind's reaction to life, um, and become a person who's serene. I just have to realize that all of that is happening and not get too excited by it.
Exactly. But you see, you say, like, this is what I was trying to explain at the beginning. You don't react to the world. You react to your own interpretation of the world. So when you say, I'm afraid of dogs, so when I see dogs out there and I feel fear, you put the cause of the fear in the world out there. Like you're like if there is something out there, but there is not, this something is nowhere to be found. You never find it. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky to talk about because it seems very paradoxical. But the more you withdraw your interest from the world and from whatever the way that your personality is expressing itself, the more the personality will express peace and love, but not as a goal of an objective, but just because the world that the individual seem to live in is an illusion. So the individual is reacting to its own imagination, and it believes that it is in conflict. But when you see that the individual is an illusion, or the world is an illusion, which is the same face of the same coin, two faces of the same coin, well, then the emotions, the emotional state start to leave you, and fear start to leave you. And therefore, the individuality and the world start to express, to mirror peace, love, understanding, because this is the quality of your own being. But it's not a goal. And the way that your individual is expressing itself does not reflect who you are or where you are in this process.
Although you're saying that the more I detach, the more the individual will express and feel peace. And so it is kind of a mirror of where I am in the process.
That's where it get tricky.
Mhm. But I guess I wanted to ask before that, you said that it's an illusion and stuff. I guess I don't see that I don't fully see that the Tammy character is an illusion, nor that the dogs are an illusion or the danger is an illusion. But I guess maybe I don't need to see that in order to do what I did the other night, which is just not care as much that Tammy is still afraid of dogs, and she reacts and be like, okay, she's tense now. I can't do anything about it. She'll relax as soon as the dogs go, and just not take it as seriously and not be worried and feel, oh God, I haven't progressed yet. In other words, not go into story or reaction about the
Yeah.
fact that I'm in fear. Um, and just take it easy and forget about it once it's over, rather than kind of, because I don't seem to be able to control the fact that I get in fear, or that the Dami character gets in fear. So at least not be as upset about it and be like, sure, okay, that's what's happening now. You know what I mean? Is that what you meant
Yeah.
by it? In other words, if I can't see that that Tammy's an illusion or that the dog's an illusion, at least just don't take the whole story as seriously, and don't feel bad that I'm not a perfect person yet who is not afraid of anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing I wanted to ask was, you said now something about that we don't need to be spiritual, we don't need to be kind to others, we don't need to be anything in particular. We don't, if I take that further, we don't need to live up to our potential, we don't need to make use of our God-given talents and gifts. Like there's no need to do anything in this lifetime in order to make ourselves or this lifetime worthy of the gift of life and of us being here. Um,
The gift of God is happiness. That's it. Then your mind put condition on this happiness, and you want to reach those conditions to be happy. But all of these are stories.
you mean
You
that
you can be happy now, no matter what's happening, no matter if you are no matter what is happening. It doesn't mean that that is not challenging, because human life is challenging for all of us in different way from our own perspective. Every human life is challenging. Yeah, and there's no perfection in a person. The person is not perfect.
Mhm,
Only being is perfect.
mhm.
Yeah, but happiness is always available. There is this beautiful book of a man who was put in jail for in a death sentence, He was 20 years old for something that he didn't commit. And he was put in the death row. And he was there for maybe 30 years. And at any day he could be killed because, those things just someone decide and he just go and they kill them. So for 30 years he was in a death row, which is a terrible jail, and he just explained it and everything. But he talked about God and love. And he's not the only. There is many, many witnesses of in terrible time, like things that we can't even imagine, and they speak about love. But they speak about love and they speak about the challenge of experiments. But they speak about love. And that's why at some point this is a process of seduction. You start to see that the taste of love of your own being become more important than to whatever challenge or not challenging human life start to be. The presence of your own being is more important than a difficult time, and the presence of your own being is more important than a beautiful time as a person. I get married, I have a son, that's great, enjoy. But the own presence, it's so much more tasty. And I'm making some comparison, but this is not, it's not for inspiration, just that you see that really the peace is always available. And if you believe in God or this word is meaningful to you, He wants you to be happy. And there is no condition for this. Your own mind is putting all of the condition, and then it is complaining because it is not capable of reaching them. And then you complain about God and life, and life is difficult, but life is not imposing you anything.
I guess it's that when pain arises or challenges arise, I guess the teaching of kind of like religions and stuff or popular ideas are that, I guess we don't deserve it yet. We have to be a better person or do better things or work harder in the physical life or in the spiritual life in order to deserve God granting us happiness or a better life or universe granting us, or however you want to look at it. Those are ideas are like, okay, there are promises of, things working out if we, some people look at the law of attraction, some people at religion, but whatever it is, it's like you have to work at perfecting your own spiritual experience, your own emotional experience, your own physical life, your actions, what you do in the world, how you treat others. In other words, work needs to be done in order to deserve or achieve peace and happiness.
Yeah, this is madness. It's insanity. Do you love? You don't have to tell who it is, but there is someone in your life or a pet or something that you really love. Like you like to be in presence with this being. You like to share. You just enjoy this person, this relationship. You really
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
Yeah. Do do this person need deserve your love? Does this person need to do something to deserve your love?
No.
Oh. But God, which is all loving being, he need he need condition, right? This is insanity. It's insane.
Mhm.
This come from a misinterpretation of the message of Jesus and his sacrifice. And that's where Christianism emerged the previous from the Torah and all of this misunderstanding of sacrifice. You need to sacrifice to gain something, which is insane because if you are here, you lost everything already. this, this is nothing here. So no, life doesn't ask you any sacrifice of any kind.
What do you mean if you are here, you lost everything? If you are here in this world, you've already lost because everything dies?
If you believe that you are a person, you lost everything already.
Yeah.
in a way, you know. So it's more about understanding what is the nature of reality, the nature of God. And you will see that what is without limit, which is God, one definition can be that in which everything arises, that of which everything is made of, and that in which everything dissolves. This is can be one definition of God. It's just everything without
Mhm.
boundary of any kind. Time, no space, no time, no dimension, just everything. How can something that is have no boundary start to pretend that it has boundary to love something? It don't make no sense.
How can something that's without boundary, I'm sorry, what?
How something that has no boundaries
Mhm.
can put condition and separation within itself.
Mhm. And you said our only responsibility is to be at peace and joy. What did you mean by that?
To realize what you are is the only thing to do here.
Mhm.
This is the self-realization is the only game in town. There is no other game.
Mhm.
You know, I had a friend who play a game. I don't know if you know it's GTA, Grand Theft Auto, and I don't know. I didn't know this game, and suddenly he showed me, and he was playing the game as the character, and the character entered into some kind of casino, and the character started to play a game in the game. You see? And that's kind of what's happening here. The real game is not what you think it is. The real game is to realize who you are. It's not having money, family, pleasure, sexual pleasure, desire, food. It's fine if you have them, great. You can seek them as much as you want. It's fine. But that's not the real game. And because it is not the real game, you will not feel the real juice of what winning mean. I mean, winning it is a metaphor.
I'm with you on that. And I guess I would ask one last question of right now it seems that I'm at a place where um I've been so tense and contracted and in so much pain in the body and mind for so long. And now I'm trying to just sink into that and just sink into what's ever here and allow a releasing. And I don't know if it's me doing it or if it's being done to me. I've kind of like, I come to a despair point of like, I feel like I can't control it. I can't make it happen. Like ease comes and goes and tension comes and goes. But
Mm.
like assuming that more ease is coming from these non-dual type of meetings and understandings. Um, so I don't know if it's just a fluke and coming and going just as it sometimes does, the relaxation of the organism, or um I guess, is there any advice besides trying to rest and accept the moment and rest in it and not go into story and not go hysterical, no matter if the person, Tammy, appears perfect in the moment or not? Kind of just ease up a bit. Is that like a good practice for now? Or can you take me one step further? Or is that like somehow resting somewhere that is not going to take me towards ultimate understanding?
Everything that allows some kind of relaxation, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter if it's physical or not. Doesn't whatever works to just bring you relax and ease and peaceful, do that.
I guess the fear is if I'll feel too easy, I'll fall into like laziness and I'll just never find my way to awakening or something.
Have you ever saw a statue of Buddha running or doing CrossFit?
No.
So don't worry about laziness, you know. You can be as lazy as you want, that's fine. Why not? If you can sleep all day, well, sleep all day. You will sleep all day for a year, 2 years, and at some point you will wake up and start to do things because that's what body does. So if
Well,
you want to sleep, if you have the luxury to sleep all day, Well, please sleep all day. Sleep for all of us that are working that hard. Rest for us, please. And if you can't, well, you can't. So it's not really, don't worry about being lazy. This is this crazy society that we live in, that we have to work to do anything. It's just madness. And we create tools that do things for us, and we keep working harder. This is just insane. Just relax. Everything is fine.
Yeah, I guess I meant more like if my practice now is relaxing my body, not necessarily doing nothing, but while I'm shopping, while I'm working, to sink into the moment, sink into relaxation. I guess I worry that maybe it's like I'll be complacent and I won't go all the way to realization. If I don't have like, if I'm not constantly so tense and so worked up that I won't find my way to ultimate understanding, I'll become like, laissez-faire and like complacent, and I won't have the fire to go all the way to full realization. I don't know.
I feel that you are shifting now. Before, when you arrived, you were, I mean, a few weeks ago, you were more on this, I'm suffering, and this suffering is difficult. And I was expressing that this suffering gave me the impulse to kind of explore and inquire. So
Mhm.
you use this pain, this suffering to to propulse, to
Mhm.
alimент this longing for something more. Yeah, which is great. And I think all of us start that way. But at some point, you will see the fire is not suffering. The fire is the ease of being, the pleasure, the relaxation, the beauty that you feel. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah,
You see?
yeah. Like I'm so worried about being worried, and I'm also worried about not being worried. But yeah,
Everything is fine.
yeah. In
Everything
other
is fine.
words, the relaxation and the beauty can also, as you say, be seductive to want me to fall deeper and deeper into the ease of being, or whatever you call it. Yeah.
But isn't that true for everything? And this is something that is a fact, and this word reflects that fact as a reflection, not as a cause, but as a reflection. That's why, for example, when you do some work and you feel happy about what you have done, you have pleasure working because there is, it's pleasure. What gives you pleasure? You want more, so you do more. Yeah. This is something that happened in the appearance because that's how reality works. The more you lack something, the more you will want of it. So the more you relax in your own being, the more you will relax. And you will see everything that you believe that needed to be done in your life, you will see that it wasn't needed.
Hmm.
But you can't pretend. That's the only trick. You
Yeah.
cannot pretend that is not important. If something is important, you have to deal with it. You will you can try not to, but it be well, you can try, but it never works. Like you
Right.
say, if you have fear of dogs, you have to watch, be sensitive, and there's no judgment to make about anything. Why not being dogs are very dangerous. They can kill you. I think it's reasonable to be afraid. Why not? That's fine. And you have to just feel the fear, accept the situation, and when the situation is gone. There's nothing to think about. There is always something going on. So just pay attention to what is here constantly.
Right. But I guess, in other words, will falling deeper into relaxation and ease, could it be like a cop out and lead me away from awakening, or you think that could bring me closer to realization? In other words, would I just feel
Tell
so
me,
peaceful that yeah.
you keep talking as if this process is something that you get near or you get far.
Hmm.
It's a self-realization that's in that. It's a remembering. So you are neither far, neither near. You are more confused or clear. But it's not about distance. You are realized already. You just don't notice it. So it is more this process of sensitivity. Just like, you know, sometimes people who have glasses or who have glasses, you know, like you put your glasses on and then you forgot that you have them on and you start to search for them. Like, where are there? Are my glasses? Oh, who stole them? And you start to make a whole drama about it. And you go to your friend and you ask, oh, my friend, where are my glasses? And you say, you find them already. No, but what? I'm near or I'm far of them. I mean, it's not far or near. It's just what you are searching is the very thing that is allowing you to see already. So it's not about, it's just about be sensitive and see that you are seeing clearly because they are already on. It's not about, it's not finding an object. It's being sensitive to what is already happening. So don't be afraid of losing or gaining, because what you search is what you are.
So, in other words, if this is my practice now of trying to sink into relaxation and sensitivity to the moment and distancing myself from stories, is that a helpful process towards realization or not? Or does it not matter because it has its own value to sink into the moment and distance from stories and be more relaxed in the body and mind?
I don't feel comfortable with the question because I mean I have the impression that you want to be convinced. I'm not here to convince anyone. Either you see the benefit of it and the value there is, and therefore you do it because it's obvious, or you don't see it and therefore uh, you haven't suffered enough, which is fine.
No, it's been beautiful for me. I guess what I'm asking you is, does this have anything to do with realization? And if not, can you give me some pointers of something to practice towards that?
Like I said, I told you, everything is about realization. There's nothing else but realization. The one who is obsessed with money and possession, this is his level of unfolding. And there is no judgment to make about that to anyone. Everyone is where it is. And I cannot assess where anyone else is. I'm just in my experience, being sensitive and doing my best. And because there is no end uh, to this unfoldment of sensitivity, well, whenever I stop, it's fine. It's like if you are running, if we all of us here in this meeting, we start uh, running like a course, you know, like there is you know, like people run and there is a start and an end, right? And we say, okay, we will start here, 1, 2, 3, and we all start running. Oh, yeah. And then we say, where is the end, right? The end of the course. And you say, there is no end. So so what? Yeah, well, you run whenever you want to run, and you stop whenever you want to stop. And if someone has run 2 hours more than you and he's far away, but he's not near of the end because there is no end. There is just experience, and you run as much as you want. That is to say that you are manufacturing an imagination of a state, and then you want to know if you are near or far of it. But all of this, it's your imagination again. What if this state is the state of being realized, which it is?
Meaning keep on unfolding into peace in whatever way I can, and then not worry about whether or not I'm realized.
Well, if you are peaceful, you are realized. I think this is the best approach. What is enlightenment? Being at peace. That's it. I think that's the best way.
Mhm.
And then the real question is not really what is how peaceful can I get? That's really interesting. I don't know. Why I try, try things, and you will see that peace is not an emotion, and there is no bottom to it. You can always relax more and more and more and more and more and more. And maybe, who knows? But you have this obsession of the ending zone, the
Of what?
goal.
Oh, the goal. Mhm.
Like, yeah. When you are goal oriented, that is because you are in the thought dimension, because there is nothing to attain. And that's why the dreaming can be. Do you have dreams sometimes, Tammy?
Not often, but sometime.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can remember a dream, right?
Yeah.
Do you see that when you dream, they seem to have a purpose, pleasant or unpleasant, but they seem to have a story and a purpose and things happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the question is there when there is a dream, is there something happening? Is there a goal? And you can say yes, of course, because I'm dreaming that I don't know. There is a I have I have to walk to the top of the mountain. So of course there is a goal. Okay, that's one perspective. The other one is the dream doesn't mean anything. So when you woke up and you are not and you didn't reach the top of the mountain, you don't fall in depression because you are you are a failure. I just realized, oh yeah, that was very funny. I make up a mountain and I wanted to go to the top and I never reach it. But all of this, it's just your own imagination.
So I guess within the dream, I'm imagining that the attainment is waking up from the dream.
Yeah. So who woke up?
The
You
character
see,
in the dream or the dreamer. Yeah.
the character will never woke up. The
Yeah.
presence of the character is the presence of the dream. There is another way to say it. You will never experience your own absence. The individual, the thoughts want to experience the absence of thoughts, but that's just an
Mhm.
impossibility. Not
Mhm.
just because it's impossible. It's not good or bad. It's not possible. But you see, we have hold an image of who we are for so long, and this image is so bad of the image of what we believe, this identification. We thought it's so bad with the individual. We feel so small, so we are unworthy of anything. So when people say you can be happy and at peace and love, you say, but look at me, I'm miserable, I'm this and that. But all of this, it's self-imposed. It's a wrong identification. And the beauty in relationships, it's like this is a symbol. When you love my kid, I love my kid. I love my son because he is, not because of what he do or because he is clever or stupid or this or that. No, I love because he is, and that's the symbol of the relationship. The love in the relationship is not loving a person. Is to see that the recognition that what you love in someone is its being. It's not what he do or what he look like, what he say, what he smell, or how much he can um, cover your desire. It had nothing to do with this. It had to do with you recognize that, oh, I love his being, his innocence. That's what I love, because that's what I am. And because when you recognize yourself in the other, you love yourself. And that's the true symbol of love in relationship. It's not really person, is understanding that you are looking at your own being. So you are loving yourself. It's how, you know, this is beautiful in relationship. It has nothing to do with desires and all of this madness. Like right now, Tammy, you are loved. Whatever is aware inside Tammy is beautiful. And because there is no Tammy, well, Tammy is beautiful. You can say this. If you understand from the right perspective, it's really beautiful.
You mean the awareness can love the character?
I speak too much. I always speak too much. I always say one sentence too much, and I find myself again in the loop. I say, when you understand that the character, even if it shine from my confusion, it is resorbed with love. It is resorbed in the understanding that everything here is an expression of myself. That is to say, if you have a nightmare and you realize that you dream, you love the nightmare, not for the story or for the drama, but because it is an expression of your own mind. So you love experience for the nature of what it is, for the essence of what it is, not for the form, but for the content.
I think I understand what you're saying in the sense of when I am at peace or in love, I feel that way towards everything that appears. I look at everything with those eyes, and that's my experience of everything in those moments. Um, I don't know if that's what you mean, but
Yeah, that's what I said. Thought, emotion do not live their soul. So if you start to love yourself, well, you will start to the world, the experience will start to reflect that.
yeah.
But remember that it is the same for suffering and the negative stuff, right? When you feel that the world is terrible, the world is not terrible. It's because again, there's something in you that is kind of perceiving that way.
Right. And I guess that's where I struggle because I don't seem to always be at peace and in love. And and then whether I blame it on the outside or the inside, when I can't access and get there, like I was in rage and anger and hatred the other day, and I couldn't get out of it for a day and a half. And so it's like, what do I do when I can't rest in the presence, rest in being, rest in love? Um,
Well, that's where you make distinction by dissolving the distinction between hate and love. You will see there is you start to raise the distinction between both.
and just
That's
all of
why
the
the relationship,
fine.
for example, sometimes I don't know why, but I talk a lot about relationship today. But in the human relationship, is beautiful because it's a symbol. When a kid come to me and he's very mad and he's screaming, he's convinced that I am the cause of his emotion, so he's completely mad to me, screaming and hitting me. You perceive
Mm.
that, right? Well, I love this. I completely accept that this is his level of unfolding, and this is his understanding, and he has the right to feel whatever he's feeling, right? That's obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you not capable to do it for your own self?
Mm. Because I expect myself to be more mature than that after so many years on earth.
Exactly. This is the expectations. This is self-imposed.
Mhm.
But that's why often we need others to learn that skill. But at the end, this skill is for yourself, not for the other. You have to be able to look at yourself as a baby, of this person as a baby, literally as a baby. This is a baby. This is just doesn't know anything. We're like, oh, we the person believe that knows how things works, but nobody knows. So we are really babies, children, all of us. No matter the age, the profession, the experience, all of this, it's meaningless to compare to reality, right? So we are all children here. So we have to look at ourselves as children and look everyone as children. And you will see it's easier if you start to approach relationship that way.
So even when I see myself reacting like a 3-year-old, I can love that and accept that and not expect myself to be evolved and spiritual and perfected. Like,
Yeah, but uh, I will answer this, and after I will ask Denis that he has a question. Yeah, the key is do not try to accept yourself, because if you can't, you can't.
mm-hmm.
Understand that, see the expectation that you are holding toward your own being, and this is uh, the dilemma, is the thoughts. Yeah, Denis, you raised the hand in.
Yeah, thanks, David. There's probably two things going on. Maybe it's one thing, but I just wanted to mention it and get your thoughts on it. So, probably about 2 months ago, my practice was to use thoughts to go into the body and feel sensations, emotions, whatever, kind of peel the labels off and just be in the body. So, in the last 2 weeks, there's two things going on. One is there's a real uncomfortableness being in the body, a sense of ickiness, a sense of wanting to get out of the body, wriggle away. And then there's also this piece where it feels like the child, like the 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, 20-year-old that has repressed whatever is now trying to have those come out. And I can look quite childish or act quite boisterous or silly, or just, it feels like I'm a child or I'm a teenager or I'm a boisterous young adult. And that's the second piece. And even when I have a few drinks, it comes out even more. And I'm really just wondering what's going on with both of those things. I'm back as well noticing when I wake up in the morning, as soon as thoughts come, it's not like I'm saying, oh, I hate thoughts, but because it's not a thought itself, but it's like the body is reacting, or the being is reacting, or something's reacting negatively to the thoughts, like it cannot stand thoughts in a sort of a bodily way. So that's what's going on. I'm just wondering what you think that is.
I don't really like. You feel a strong repulsion with thoughts.
In the morning, particularly, once thoughts kick in and start up, it's like a bodily, it's like a suffering. But once I get up and start going about my day, maybe I don't know if there's less thoughts or I'm just doing. But with that ickiness in the body, I can't sit still. I can't stop. I'm doing something all the time. It's only when I come to something like this that I'll sit. And even then I can feel it in the body. I just want to jump up and run off.
Mm. Oh, there seems to be a lot of agitation. Is present right now?
Yeah, it's been present since the start.
Mm.
And it's like thoughts used to pull me out of it all the time. Similar to what Tammy was talking about. It's like thoughts give you hope or a distraction, but when you just drop them, you're back here in the body, in the uncomfortableness. Now that's a label. It's just into sensation, energy, whatever. It's an energy in the body. It's blockages. It's movement. It's leg wanting to shake. It's all bodily sensations and feelings and
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you are not really used to be with the field of sensing. And a lot of um, a lot of us haven't learned to be with that. So it takes time for the system to learn to be with that, for yourself to be with it without distracting yourself. And sometimes it's good to be very still and to feel it, but other times it's also good to move. So I will, what I want to tell you is that also let go of the imagination of how you should be with sensation. You can go boxing, maybe that can be very good for you. Why not? You see, you just really let go completely of the form of how this energy have to express itself. Maybe it can be sitting and feeling it. That's great. Maybe it can be doing something else. You see. So really completely let go of this imagination that this energy has to unfold in a specific way, which often is just sitting and like some miracle happen. But that's not really that's not how it happened to me. And often it's very specific. And sometimes the body need to move, need to do things.
yeah, no, I have. I put up a punching bag 2 months ago, and this weekend I start
Ah,
cycling again. So I am doing stuff physical too. It feels like I'm tired, but at the same time full of energy.
uh, yeah, yeah. If you're to talk often, if you to talk about the nervous system, this flight and fight, often what happens within the nervous system, it's you fight or you flight, right? If there is a danger, even an emotional danger. If you can't do any of those, your system will freeze, right? You will just freeze completely. And all of the energy of fighting and running will get freeze somehow into the body, yeah. So then when you start to retune to your sensation, you will have this strong energy that want to come up, but at the same time there is this freezing energy that's still on also. So that's why it's a dance between both of them. And that's why also, like I said to Tammy about laziness. I spent years very lazy, but it's not easy. But it's not I was lazy. It's just that physically it was very difficult for me to move. But of course, I say physically. I talk about the nervous system, but the mind and the body is one thing. There's not two things there, just symbols that we use. So when you start to move the body, it will start to shake your psyche. Just like if you do thing in your psyche, it will start to mark the body because it's one thing. And that's why movement can be very good to support that. That's why often also when you start to relax the mind and the brain start to rest in the skull more and more, you start to have more energy. But it's sometimes an energy that is completely different because it's not really an energy that requires movement, physical movement, even if you can.
Yeah, it feels true. I'm already spontaneously now doing TRE while I'm sitting here. So there's a physical piece, but the suppression stuff as well. It's like when you were younger and you wanted to be kind of, I don't know, like live and free and spontaneous, and you suppressed it. It's like it's coming out now, and I'm behaving childishly, for want of a better way to describe it. Um, I'm just wondering, is it part of the process? There's a slight concern I get worse, which I don't want to, but
No, worse, no, no, no. I mean, a way to answer to this fear is to say everything that arises in your experience was already there. It's just a way to just approach it. So don't worry, everything that is appearing to you, you can deal with it because it was within you already.
Yeah,
So
it feels like I'm
understand
defrosting.
exactly. So it's fine. All of this was already within you, so it cannot put you in danger. Yeah.
Mm,
But do it with sensitivity and allowing integration. Integration it's very important. For example, if you do boxing or if you hit a bag, do your thing with movement, but it's important to take breaks. And when you take a break, feel that break. Feel how the body just slow down, the heart beating, the muscle, the pulse, everything is high, and feel how it just slowly cool down, cool down. Feel this, feel this, feel that, feel that. Because often we get excited, we feel the excitement, and then we forgot to feel the 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 cooling part. And when you forgot to feel the cooling part, what you are telling you to your system is you are raising the norm of excitement constantly because you you desensitivize your system to the cooling part.
yeah, so it's like feel the in-breath and the out-breath.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And theory is beautiful. So I feel that everything is fine for you, Denise.
Thanks, David.
Often we give too much importance to the form of our experience. And we forget that the importance is the content. Just like right now, I have an image here, and right, I have a square with an image, and it seemed to be me. Right, so this is a form. But this image does not represent how I feel within. What is important is what you want, what you feel, your experience is what is important. But the image, the perception you are having, or the thought you are having about it, it's the form, which is it's unreliable. You cannot uh, provide meaning to anything that you perceive. And that I think more and more that the a devotion, a devotional mind is the highest perspective for an individual devotion. A devotion to this unresolvable mystery that is here. Like I don't know anything, but I don't need to know anything because I'm safe already, right? this kind of reflection. I think it's really beautiful. Okay, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your presence, for your time. That's very beautiful. Yeah. And see you next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thanks so much.